What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to About Trout. If you're new here on this channel, I do fly fishing how-tos, gear reviews, vlog stuff. It's a fun time, so hit that subscribe button, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Renzetti Presentation 2000. It's, for whatever reason, I think it's the most underrated vise in Renzetti's lineup. It gets no shine, and I think currently on YouTube there may be 3 reviews on it. So I want to tell you why I love this vise so much, why it could be a great fit for you, and some of the features, some of the walkthroughs, and some things that I had dealt with this vise that are quick corrections. So stick around and we'll break this vise down. The Renzetti Presentation 2000 is an awesome vise. I think it retails for like $375 now. And like I said, I've tied thousands of flies on it. It's loaded with features. I upgraded from the Renzetti Traveler. It's just because it looks good on my desk. I mean, look at these sleek looks, right? So it's a nice ornament for your desk. But right off the bat, it has the same jaws as the Renzetti Traveler. So it's gonna hold your flies from 28 to 4/0. I've actually never tied saltwater flies on this vise, just because I've had it just living in New Mexico. I haven't really fished salt, but I've tied down the 28s for the San Juan all the way up to about 6s on it, and it's been fine. Given that it is the same jaws as the Renzetti Traveler, I've tied 2/0, 3/0, and 4/0 on this, so I know that the jaws will do just fine. So I have a Renzetti Traveler right here. This was sold to me by my friend John West for 70 bucks. It's a left-handed knob vise, which I don't use. It sits in my drawer, so thanks, John. I think I was 16 when I picked this up. But it got the job done. If you notice, the stem on the Presentation 2000 is taller. I like to sit over it, tie. The Renzetti Presentation 2000, if you get the cheaper version of it, this base is still really heavy, really rock solid. And the nice thing with the Presentation 2000 is it's fully anodized, so it won't corrode. It keeps it in better shape. I think with fly tying, no vise is going to make you a better tyer, but some vices are more comfortable to tie on, and some vices are just gonna make tying that much more enjoyable, and that's what I get out of this vise. It looks good, it's got a heavy base, it's really sturdy, and it has great jaws. It's really good enough for me, but it does have some features that are worth noting that you might find interesting that I haven't really had a need for. So yes, I know this vise is filthy. I haven't cleaned it, but hey, you know it's getting used, right? So you can trust my reviews. The big selling points on this vise is it's all aluminum. There's no plastic components except for these 2 knobs right here. And you have multiple indexing points, so you can pivot the vise up and down, and you can adjust this knuckle just like the Renzetti Master, so you can move it up and down. What this is really for is when you start to tie bigger hooks, you can position this and tighten this down so that the vise rotates it on the hook on its axis. I love true rotary vices. I use my bobbin cradle all the time when I'm spinning wire, tying flies like Copper Johns. I also love Renzetti's because they have this torsion screw right here on the barrel, so I can lock it out so it doesn't move, or I can add a little bit of tension to keep the vise locked in place. So the great thing about this vise, just like the Traveler, is I can just go from basically a size, 4/0 by just opening up the jaws like that to a 28 if I need to, and then just lock it out. So I'll forever be a Renzetti guy. I'll never have a reason to change. The big selling point on this vise is also the ratchet feature, which I have locked out. So if you wanted to tie with that, there's this nut right here. We're gonna have to loosen that up. And then I can put this back in and lock it out. But what that ratchet does is I can calibrate my turns. So I can stay right in here and slowly rotate the vise. So I can spin it out, right? I can change how much I want it to ratchet, but some people really like this. Truth be told, it really does nothing for me, so I don't use it, but that's the ratcheting feature on the vise. It's nice and smooth through the barrel on its axis of rotation. Something to note, when I first bought this vise, there was a little bit of play in it and it drove me crazy. But if you flip the vise around, there's a nut right in here. And you can just take your Allen key, which the medium size one, you get 3. But you can just take this, tighten this up, and it's gonna remove that wobble in the vise. So I put the material clip back on. It's 10 bucks. If you get this vise, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting it. So I hope that clears things up with this vise. If you're thinking about purchasing one, I really never ever have to upgrade from this vise. And when I do eventually get a Renzetti Master vise, it's more of like a treat yourself. I don't really ever tie 10-aught hooks. But I think this is one of the most underrated vices in Renzetti's lineup. The Presentation 4000, I believe, has a knob, which I really don't like. I really like having the cam jaws. I've never had an issue. It's really solidly built. It's got a great base. You might find yourself loving that ratchet feature. I know that I have buddies that do. And it's nice to be able to index it in multiple points. But from just a comfort standpoint, I'm so used to tying on it, it's really hard to go back. And if you have a if you have a Renzetti Traveler, everything is gonna be the same. You're already used to how the vise works. It is just an all-around great vise. So if you're looking at the Renzetti Presentation 2000, I encourage you to go do it. You won't be disappointed. And that's my vise review. If you have any questions on the Renzetti Presentation 2000, drop them down in the comments below. I will get back. There's not a lot of info on the vise. It's just it's like a Traveler on steroids. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know if I can do anything for you in the comments below, or shoot me an email at info@abouttrout.com. Have an awesome winter and happy tying. Take care.